Lucy. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. So, before we begin, my name is Marissa and I'm going to be working with you today. And in this session, we're really going to start focusing on what we believe is going on, maybe some of the areas that's affecting us, and ultimately end up naming the problem. When we name the problem, we're really going to externalize it. And by externalizing it, it really gives us something to aim at or something to work against. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And then additionally, during the session, I may be writing down notes if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure.
The notes aren't anything about you or anything I'm going to keep private. If you would like, you can actually take them home at the end of the night. These are just going to be things that I notice or want to focus on as we go along. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is it that brought you in today?
So I've been feeling a lot of anxiety
Mm-hmm.
lately. Like I've been feeling like passive. I'm not hanging out with my friends as much as I used to. Like I'm just nervous all the time. I'm worried about work a lot. Like even if I go out and try to hang out with my friends, whenever they do invite me to things, like my mind is constantly just thinking about work, work, work. What I have to do this, I have to do this, and I have to, like it's just very overwhelming.
Okay. So would it be fair to say that anxiety is almost isolating you from the rest of the world and your work, and you also said your social life?
Mhm.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit what this is doing to your social life? I know you said it's kind of keeping you apart from them, but can you explain a little more?
Yeah. So I mean, I used to have a good time when I used to go out with my friends. I was super social. Go to my friend's house. We would go out, hang out, have a few drinks down at the little bar we have in school, and everything was just fine. But lately, I just been really stressed.
Really stressed?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were to look at everything that's been going on, when would you say this really started to affect you?
Well, I'm in my second semester now. Um, I would say maybe like last semester around finals time. I mean, I did okay on my finals, but now I'm just really feeling the pressure. Like I can't concentrate in class. My notes are horrible. Like I'm falling asleep. And I'm just not really getting good grades in my class.
Okay. So it really does sound like this is affecting your education.
Hmm.
What was it like before you started experiencing this? How was your education? How's your concentration, your grades?
Everything was good. I mean, at the beginning of the semester last year, I was doing really good. I was sitting in the front. My notes were good. My exams were, they were decent. My papers were good. Um, I mean, towards the end, I guess in my finals, I got lower grades than I was getting in the beginning. But now, like, it's already March. Like, when this semester is like finals, like, I basically failed over it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And that's putting me at the verge of academic um, failure. And everything was fine before I got okay. Like I would still have my friends. We would go on the weekend. I would participate in club groups, club meetings. I would go to school events and all.
Okay. So as I hear you saying, it really made a drastic increase in everything going with your academics, and you said you used to be a good student, you were taking notes, being in front of the class, but as time progressed, and you said you were in college,
Yeah.
as time progressed in college, you start to see your test grades go down, your concentration, and then also you said the going out with your friends and your social life is also really decreasing. How does that affect you emotionally when you're seeing these changes and not wanting to go out with these people?
Well, I feel depressed because I'm not happy. You know, like my friends barely talk to me. They barely call me to see how I'm doing. They barely invite me to things anymore. And I just feel like I'm isolated in my room and just watching TV by myself.
Okay. So as we've been talking, I've kind of been listening to what you've been saying and some of the feelings you've been experiencing. So some of the things I wrote down are anxiety, isolation, stress, worry, and depression. If you were to start to look at what you've been feeling and what you've been experiencing and were to give it a name, what do you believe would be a good name for this problem that you've been experiencing?
I guess I would maybe
Anxiety? Okay. So as we move forward, we're really going to focus on keeping anxiety now and addressing it as almost as if it's a separate person or a separate entity. Because when we're facing problems like this, it's not that we have a problem, it's that a problem such as anxiety in your case is really starting to enter your life. Do you kind of understand what that means?
Yeah.
Okay, how does it feel to actually separate yourself from this problem?
It feels good. It makes me feel like I'm not the problem, but something else is. You know, like I used to think that, um, I chose this isolation and I chose to not be friends because I will never go to events, or like when I'll go, I'll just be like the Debbie Downer of the group, and it really messed me up mentally and emotionally. But now that you have a name for it, now I feel like, I could say, well, it was this and it wasn't me.
Right.
Like I feel like I have more control of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So by externalizing this, you actually almost feel like a sense of relief, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
All right, good.
Yeah.
So I also did write down that you said the anxiety started last semester.
Yeah.
So when anxiety entered your life, was there anything dramatic or drastic that changed, or was it just the pressure from school that you really noticed?
Mainly probably the pressure from school. I mean, like I said, like I am a freshman now, and I've never lived away from my parents, so also being away from the house, I feel like it's affecting me a little bit. Like, I miss my sisters and my mom, and then yeah, mostly school.
Okay, so almost a separation anxiety as well as the pressure of academic anxiety entering your life.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you are moved away from home. Where are you from originally?
My parents are from Honduras.
Oh, your parents are from Honduras.
Yeah.
Is that where you moved here from?
No, we lived in New York.
Okay. So what was the move like from New York to Miami?
I mean, at first I was super excited, Miami, the whole nice weather, going out kind of stuff. So I was super excited to be here. Um, but now I just feel like I'm super far from home. Like I didn't even go home for Thanksgiving because, now I'm a whole flight away and I just couldn't afford it. So I had to stay here for Thanksgiving. I did go home for Christmas, but now I feel like it's been a long time. It's been 3 months since I've been home, and now I'm feeling the pressure in school. So I feel like it's all kind of pressure.
Okay. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it really sounds like you're starting to actually miss home, and maybe that's creating an opening for this anxiety to enter because it's sensing like this area that's not as strong or maybe as willing as it used to be to really fight and have this determination and this eagerness to really continue on with school. You're starting to get almost a homesickness.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you think about what it was like leaving New York, what was something that really like emotionally struck for you? Are you noticing something really big now? Is it a homesickness? Is it missing your family? Is it more just like the familiarity with everything?
Um, I think it's not New York the place. I feel like it is just the people in it.
Okay.
I did I have a lot of my friends there. I did take a break from school, and now, I'm in my 20s and now I enter back to the system. So I already had established, all these friends in New York and my family, and now just to kind of like drastically come down so I can start school, it was very different for me. And I don't have anybody here. Like, I just started making these friends here in school, and those are the only people I have. And now it's like I really don't.
So that might also be another area, the lack of knowing people and vulnerability where anxiety may be getting in.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we start to examine your move from New York to Miami, how does that compare with your family's move from Honduras to New York?
Well, I think for me it's a little different because I was born here in New York, but it was mostly like my parents,
Okay.
who experienced kind of like that struggle. But it definitely has impacted us, economically. My parents don't have a good education growing up, so they haven't been able to get good jobs. Language barriers, like I have to help them do everything. I feel like it's affecting me secondhand, kind of like not that it's affecting me more. It's like my parents, but not me.
So, how does it make you feel that these obstacles that your parents are facing have actually transferred onto you, even though you didn't directly experience them? So,
I mean, I don't think so.
okay, so you don't think there's really much, really how they're experiencing these language barriers and this lack of education? You don't feel like it's really affected the way you've grown up or the things you've done as well?
No, not really.
Okay, well that's good to be able to really acknowledge that like this has happened, but to be able to be like not affecting me, you're really moving on. You've now continued your education into getting a degree from college, so you're really pushing yourself forward. And even though your parents may have not gotten this education, you really are pursuing that. Okay. So going back to our problem of anxiety that we have identified, are there any other areas or any other times in your life that you've really been able to identify when anxiety has really entered your life or affected you besides just in this past couple months?
Yeah, just
Just these past couple months? Okay. And then, so you also said it's with academic and social, correct? Are there any other groups? Is there any anxiety between maybe you and a family member, you and a career?
No.
No?
I mean, I have a really good relationship with my parents. I don't, I don't have a major yet. I haven't cleared, but I don't feel like I'm anxious to get there. I'm still exploring my options, and I guess maybe that's one of the reasons I've been stressed because I'm taking all these different kind of courses, and I'm learning different things in each of them. So it's kind of like every time I do homework or study, I have to stop for one thing and go on the next one. It's not like I'm still in my career where everything is kind of like a continuous learning all in between my classes about one profession. So I feel like me being all over the place, I'm just taking like really hard courses right now, like my basics, kind of like sciences, art, things I'm not really good at.
So, how does it make you feel that you haven't actually declared a major yet?
I mean, I feel fine. I hear that people don't declare until the second semester, and I've taken some courses that I've actually like, and I'm considering, but I don't feel like I'm in a rush to get there, especially because I feel like I've been so anxious about the courses that I'm focused at now that I really haven't put too much thought into it.
Good. And by doing that, to me, again, if by not declaring a major, that could be a very large point for anxiety to really enter your life. And I feel as though you've created this strategy against anxiety to really be like, no, it's okay. I'm learning. I really want to identify what I like, take the courses, and get the curriculum before I really make a decision.
Yeah.
Do you think you have any other strategies that you've utilized or have actually acknowledged that you've used against anxiety to really prevent it from entering your life?
Well, I mean, I didn't see that what I was doing as a strategy. But besides that, not really. I mean, I isolate myself. I don't go out. I watch TV. I procrastinate. I use watching TV as a scapegoat, basically,
Right. How often would you say you watch TV?
all day. I mean, I go to class if I'm actually physically, present. And as soon as I come back, I just watch TV so I can sleep.
So you noted that you haven't really been able to find strategies to block the anxiety from entering your life, but what strategies do you think anxiety has actually gained to enter your life to where no matter the situation, that you identify certain times or places that it's really like, anxiety is going to be entering it full force?
When things are due, basically. Yeah, I mean, our papers usually have deadlines, and even though I may know like a week in advance, I mean the day before, that's when it really hits, and then I get a bad grade, and then I get depressed, and I start rethinking everything, and I think about all my classes, and then I look at all the work I have to do. I'm so anxious about getting a grade that I need to stay back in.
Okay, so it sounds like anxiety really is able to take the pressure from deadlines of papers and assignments and exams and use that as a little gateway to really get into your life and start causing mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're sitting here and we've identified anxiety as our problem. Do you still believe that anxiety is a good name for this problem we've been experiencing?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So we're going to stick with anxiety. And as we move forward, we're really going to focus on saying, okay, identify specific things when I know anxiety is really going to enter my life. What can I do? What strategies can I use to fight back against anxiety? By doing this, we're really going to start pushing that anxiety out of our life and slowly, maybe not all at once, but start reducing the times that we're experiencing this anxiety. You had mentioned to me you were a good student before all this. You really loved the people in your life, and you had a lot of friends. Is this something you would really like to get back to?
yes, yes.
Okay, so if anxiety were not a problem at all, what would you put you to like?
I mean, like the way I was before, like when I first came to FIU, I was happy. I was excited about going out. I was making plans. I was seeing my friends. I was engaged in, school activities. So things like that, and hopefully get a career out of this, and get a good job.
Well, it sounds like you have a very good goal, and I think it's something we can accomplish. We just really got to start recognizing this anxiety and how it's affecting us. And we'll move forward next week, really trying to map out the different areas specifically that anxiety is entering. Do you have any further questions for me right now?
No.
No? All right. Well, I will see you next week.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.